flat felt seams? Like on a men's shirt?
No, I don't, and I'll tell you why. Flat fill seams, unless you're doing straight, they're straight. They're hard to do on curved seams. And because I need a lot of curves in my shirts to fit me, and I'm not doing men's shirts. If I was doing men's shirts, I would do flat fill, and I have an attachment that does it. It's adequate, but not great. And I also want to get as much bulk out of the fabric as possible. And so a flat fill seam tends to be more bulky. So honestly, what I do is I use, I serge the seam and then it's stitched down. So because it's a softer seam, but that's a really good question. Someone says, well, aren't you just copying out? I said, maybe, but it's a design decision for me. It's not a decision about being, cutting corners. That's not I would not cut corners on a seam because it's too important to how the shirt hangs.
Now, did you use the crisp in that collar?
Huh?
Did you use the crisp in that collar that you have?
This collar is, I think is, I'm pretty sure if I can remember, I did, I'm trying to feel here. Yeah, I used the lightweight, not the couture, but lightweight in the collar because there's two collars here. I might have used a medium here and lightweight in this one because this one doesn't have to have, or I might have put the medium here because it makes it stand up. So it's, if you, yeah. So my typical go-to is a medium weight and a lightweight.
And then what pattern did you begin with?
I typically sew Vogue. If I sew, I don't buy commercial patterns anymore, but a Vogue pattern. There's a couple of nice Vogue patterns, and one that has princess seams. This one here is a Vogue pattern, and it has this yoke, and it doesn't have the back seam, but you put it in if you want the back facing.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you want to do is to look for, look for patterns. If I can't find Vogue, I might go a Butterick, but that's as far that I go. And I think there are probably indie patterns makers that have great shirts too. I did for a sewing friend of mine. I did. She wanted to make shirts, and this woman's so gorgeous. She's a yoga friend of mine, and she is a 32 double D. She's about that big around. She's about this tall, and she. So I did a moulage for her and did a set of shirt patterns for her. So she just goes from there.
Well, and then I have some big shirts at home that, yes, they gap in the back like you described, so I'm going to apply this to that. And if I like it, because these were very inexpensive shirts, I think I'll take them apart and use that sort of for my pattern.
Yeah, do that. Now here's that. This is your back seam. This is center back. Okay. This is the cross back. All right. And then up here is your neckline and your shoulder. You with me?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the waist. So come in 3/8 and then 0 at the cross back, and then about 7 inches up. Doesn't have to be, but it's about 7 because you don't want to take this down here because you take away. You need that for your hip, and then you say it's about 7 here, and then to 0 to here, and then you just shape this. Now here, this is your side seam. If you want to take it in here at the waist, if you want it to look absolutely straight, you still have to take it in, because what happens is it buckles. So at the waist, you just come in whatever you want. If I want a little curve, usually I'll do 3/4, but you can come in a little further if you need to. And then that from the underarm to here, and then again 7 inches. So you can see by the time you get this away, you have a much better shaped shirt. It's very easy to do, and you can just get a much nicer fit. So
Thank you very much.
there we have it.
This was great.
Oh, here are some things. You know, there are lots of great things in threads. This is an article on using basic bias seam. These are some cute things. This is these are shirts that have, again, fun little details for using ribbons and things like that. This is a great one. This is about converting a plain white shirt to a tuxedo shirt. So you can do that. This, I don't particularly care for this idea, but this is upcycling shirts, you know, taking men's shirts. But this is a great treatment, I thought, here in the back. I'll pass this around, you can look at it. But it's a little square that goes in there. And I think that was a really great. And then this uses double collars, but you know, that is not attractive. I'm sorry. I love the matching. I like this is actually really nice in terms of looking at the fabrics that go together and how they do it. So anyway, yeah, so there's that. Then this is about using little diminutive treatments. This is little tiny piping that goes around the collar. That's really beautiful. And then little ribbons and things that you can use. So you can, gingham with most prints is beautiful too. Now this is not about a design feature. It's about saving yourself if you get the sleeves on wrong. Well, so what this woman recommends is you just cut it off and just switch them. I mean, it's really smart, isn't it? Clever. But look at this though, is that if you put a little flange there, you end up with a great design feature.
Yes.
I mean, isn't that not great? And if this was a cuff and print, and then you have a little flange there in that same print, it would be adorable. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, so do also remember that your shirt is also a shirtwaist dress. Just like that. And then this is a lace insets. We didn't talk about that. This is not a very good example of it, but you can sort of see it if you. And also all these seams, they sort of lend themselves to slot seams. And you can make a slot seam and put that contrasting fabric inside the slot. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So anyway, thank you for the opportunity to do this. It was really fun to sort of, even brought me to some new ways of thinking about design possibilities. I included these 3 books here, plus Pam Ernie's shirt making blog. She has 2 really great tutorials for doing chevrons with stripes on yokes. Chevrons are great with stripes. And also sleeve plackets. So you probably would. She hasn't done anything in her blog in a really long time. Those you might know her. She's the owner of Fashion Sewing Supply.
I think she's very ill.
Huh?
I think she's very ill.
Well, I had heard. I got a sense of that, but I wasn't sure. So that's a shame. Yeah. Anyway.
Thank
So,
you, Penny. This
well,
was
thank
you.
awesome.
Thank you. Yes.
Inspirational.